Hi, welcome back. This time we are looking at Gerald from And in Spectacles. So Gerald is an incredibly arrogant, manipulative character. He is part of the aristocracy, which is the upper class in Edwardian England when this was set in 1912. And he is the son of Lord and Lady Croft. So he has a lot of money, a lot of power, and a lot of reputation. He is currently engaged to Sheila. However, right before we're kind of introduced for Gerald's part of In Spectacles, as it were, it's revealed that he has cheated on her with Eva Smith, who had changed her name to Daisy Renton. So, firstly, in terms of the carnal sins, the 7 deadly sins, whatever you want to call them, Gerald symbolises the carnal sin of lust. He cheats on Sheila, and he enters in this incredibly toxic, somewhat abusive relationship with Eva. How does Gerald enforce the patriarchy? He sees women as inferior. It doesn't seem to bother him that he's cheating on Sheila. It doesn't seem to bother him that he is in this toxic relationship with Eva. He views himself as dominant. He has the power. He can do what he wants. So, when Gerald is mentioned first meeting Eva, another character is brought in, and this is Old Man McGarty, who is an alderman, so he's on the council in the town. He is upper class. He has a lot of power, and because of that, he's able to misuse his power. So Sheila says, everyone knows about that horrible old McGarty. A girl I know had to see him at the town hall one afternoon, and she only escaped with a torn blouse. There are a lot of hints that McGarty abuses his power and status. He seems to abuse women. That's what's being hinted at here. He ignores his responsibility as a representative of law and justice. He's the criminal, basically. He's doing what we see a lot of people do nowadays, which is using his power and status to get away with breaking the law. He uses status and power in deeply disconcerting, troubling, and sinister ways, and he is a danger to women, and his harassment and assault of them appears to be well known. Sheila's not even that concerned about it. She's just kind of like, oh, this is a normal thing, which shows the danger of misogyny in the Edwardian era. And that links to Gerald. So McGarty is a metaphor for an older Gerald. He's vain, rich, and a frequenter of the palace bar. The description of McGarty is deliberately uncomfortable. We're supposed to find it disgusting. And he is a warning of what Gerald will become if Gerald continues to abuse his power over women of a lower class than him. Priestley challenges the facade of respectability behind closed doors. This idea that Gerald puts up this facade of, oh, I'm the aristocracy, I have loads of power, I'm really important, I'm really well respected, and then behind that, he is committing despicable and immoral acts. So etymology. Etymology is word origin, and the etymology of Gerald is ruler with a spear. So we can link that to Gerald's character in terms of ruler. He's male, so patriarchy, men are in control, and also because he is the aristocracy. He has the money and the family history and legacy to have that amount of power. In terms of a spear, we can link it to potential hints of him using violence against women. It's not overtly mentioned, but maybe if he goes down McGarty's route, then he will do. And secondly, I'm sure you can all think of the imagery of the male body with a spear and thinking about what Gerald likes to do with his spare time and his link to the carnal sin of lust. So there's a very uncomfortable emerging motif of men abusing their power. We see it in Mr. Burling firing Eva. We see it in Old Man McGarty. We see it in Gerald. So our main thing, we are going to look at this quote for Gerald. I didn't install her there to make love to her. So firstly, we're going to look at install. Word class is a verb. Connotations of install. He's objectifying Eva. He's dehumanizing her. He views her as something he can own, something he can move around at will and control. And this is then juxtaposed with the phrase make love. He romanticizes his affair with Eva and the fact that he is in an incredibly manipulative relationship, because when he meets her, he has all the money in the world and she has just been fired from yet another job. So there's hints she's working as a prostitute, and he might view himself as saving her from prostitution. And therefore that the fact that he's put her up at a friend's flat without charging her rent, he might view himself as her saviour. And he puts himself in that position, which makes us feel quite uncomfortable about the power imbalance in their relationship. Eva may feel that she cannot leave him. She has to do what he wants, because if she doesn't, she'll be homeless. So it makes her quite reliant on him, and it makes it quite an uncomfortable relationship and position to be in. Gerald romanticizes that with make love, implying that there is emotion between them. They're not just having sex as the rest of the world would look at it. He has a connection with her. However, again, if we look at the personal pronoun her, he repeats it. He doesn't actually use her name. So there are more than one potential interpretation of this. One could be that he is, again, dehumanizing her. He is taking away her identity. It doesn't matter who she is to him. We can link that to misogyny, sexism, the Edwardian patriarchy. Equally, we can look at it in terms of he has done this before, and he's losing track of just how many women he has made love with. If we look at the sentence structure, the personal pronoun I, structurally putting it first, could suggest that he is prioritizing himself. He thinks he is the most important thing. He's dominant. He's in control. Equally, by putting love near the end, that's not his priority. It's an afterthought. It's something he can use as an excuse.